What would you do if a stranger shattered your marriage with a single sentence over a plate of cold pasta? The restaurant was dim, tucked into a quiet corner of West Loop, Chicago. Brick walls, low lights, the hum of conversations blending into something almost comforting. I remember staring at my wife across the table, watching her scroll her phone with that distant look she'd perfected over the past few months. Then the waiter leaned in, smiled politely at her, and said something that didn't belong in my life. "Good to see you again. Will it be the usual? Or is he joining you later?" Her face froze. Mine didn't even know how to react, because I had no idea who he was. And in that moment, something inside me cracked open, and I knew I was about to find out everything. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. She laughed it off. "Oh, he must have me confused with someone else," she said quickly, too quickly. Her fingers tightened around her glass. I watched her knuckles turn white. The waiter looked confused. "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought." "It's fine," she snapped, cutting him off with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. I didn't say a word the rest of the dinner, but I noticed everything. The way she avoided eye contact. The way her phone lit up twice, and she flipped it over instantly. The way she insisted we leave early, claiming she had a headache. We drove back to our apartment on North State Street in silence. The Chicago skyline blurred past us, but all I could see was that moment replaying again and again. "Is there something you want to tell me?" I asked finally, my voice calm, too calm. She sighed like I was the problem. "Seriously? You're still stuck on that? It was a mistake. Move on. Move on." That was her answer. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling while she slept peacefully beside me, her breathing steady, like nothing had changed. But everything had. The next morning, I started paying attention. It was subtle at first. She'd step into the bathroom to answer calls. Her phone was suddenly password protected. She started working late, 3 nights a week. Fridays became sacred, untouchable. "I have client dinners," she'd say. Every Friday. I didn't confront her again. Not yet. Instead, I started watching. One Friday, I followed her. She left at 7:12 p.m., wearing a black dress I'd never seen before. I gave her 10 minutes, then grabbed my keys and kept a careful distance. She drove to the same restaurant. The same one. I parked across the street and watched through the window. She wasn't alone. He was already there. Mid-40s, expensive suit, the kind of confidence that comes from thinking you can't be touched. He stood up when she arrived, kissed her cheek like it was routine. Like they'd done this before. Many times. I sat there gripping the steering wheel until my knuckles burned. I didn't storm in. I didn't call her. I just watched. Because in that moment, I realized something. Anger would destroy me. But patience could destroy them. Over the next few weeks, I became someone else. I checked phone records. Unknown numbers that repeated like a pattern. I installed a small recorder in her car. I tracked her movements, documented everything. Dates, times, locations. Their conversations were worse than I imagined. "I think he suspects something," she said once, her voice casual. "He won't do anything," the man replied. "Guys like him never do." They laughed. They laughed at me. That was the night I broke. I sat in my car in a parking garage on Wabash Avenue and cried harder than I ever had in my life. Not just because she was cheating, but because she had turned me into a joke. A weak man. A man they thought wouldn't fight back. That was the last night I cried. After that, I planned. I hired a lawyer. Quietly. One of the best in Chicago. I handed over everything. Recordings, photos, phone logs. "She's going to lose everything," he told me. "Good," I said. But I wasn't done. I found out who he was. Married. 2 kids. Corporate executive. Reputation built on image. Perfect. I gathered more. Pictures of them entering hotels near Michigan Avenue. Audio of their conversations. Messages I eventually accessed when she forgot to log out of her email on our shared laptop. Then I waited. The opportunity came faster than I expected. Her birthday. She planned a party at a rooftop bar downtown. Friends, co-workers, even some of my family. And him. Of course, he'd be there. I arrived early, spoke with the manager, handed him a USB drive. "I need you to play this at exactly 9:30, I said. He hesitated. I didn't. "Please." At 9:30, the music cut out. The screens flickered. And then everything played. Photos, videos, audio, her voice. His voice. Their lies. The room went silent. I watched her face drain of color as her world collapsed in real time. People whispered. Some walked out. Others stared. He tried to leave, but his wife was already there. I had made sure of that. The screaming started seconds later. I didn't say a word. I just stood there and watched as everything they built on lies burned to the ground. The divorce was swift. She fought at first, denied everything. But evidence doesn't care about denial. She lost the apartment. She lost her job within a month. HR didn't appreciate the public scandal. He lost even more. His wife filed for divorce. His company let him go quietly. Reputation matters in his world. They tried to reach out to me. Apologies. Excuses. I never responded. The last time I saw her was outside the courthouse on Dearborn Street. She looked smaller somehow. Not physically, but like something inside her had collapsed. Why did you do this? She asked, her voice shaking. I looked at her for a long moment. Then I said the only truth that mattered. You already did. I walked away before she could say anything else. Now, months later, I sometimes pass that restaurant. Same dim lights. Same quiet hum. Different life. And every time I do, I remember that moment. The waiter, the sentence, the crack that started it all. Because some betrayals don't explode. They whisper. And by the time you hear them clearly, everything is already over. The end.